Hola, hi, my name is Natalia and welcome to Body Abroad. Thank you. Yes, you right there for subscribing and helping me reach 100 subscribers. I really want to thank everyone who has hit that red subscribe button and has helped me grow Body Abroad in one way or another. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for watching my videos. It really means a lot. So I just want to say thank you again and putting it out there that this is just the first big milestone. There are many more to come and I am wishing you the same if you have a YouTube channel. Now that I've said thank you like 100 times, welcome to Travel Tuesday. I don't know why I've been snapping a lot in my videos. Before anyone says anything, yes, I wore this bandana thing in my last thumbnail in my last video. I am digging it. This was high school me and I'm bringing it back. Today we have a travel video and I'm going to be talking about being a vegetarian and traveling. I don't think I've said this on my channel, but I am a vegetarian. I have been a vegetarian since, oh wow, July 2018. It doesn't feel like that. 2015 to 2020 went by in like a second. So I am a vegetarian. Reasons why: I do it for the environment. I took an environmental science class and did not know that the meat industry contributed so much to climate change, and I was like, I need to do something. So in July of 2018, after my study abroad in Paris, I decided to become a vegetarian. I know the vegan-vegetarian movement is having a boom, and it doesn't matter the reasons why you do it, you just have to feel happy with what you are doing with your diet.
Editing Natalia here. I know I refer to vegetarianism and veganism only as a diet. For this video, I only touched about the food aspect of it, but I know it is a lifestyle. Just wanted to clear that up.
What we are not gonna do is criticize one another for choosing to be a vegetarian or a vegan. So for my fellow vegans, vegetarians, I am talking about 5 things that I've learned while traveling and being a vegetarian, because it can be a struggle to do. Before getting into the video, don't forget to subscribe and follow Body Abroad on all your favorite social media platforms. There are videos every Tuesday for travel and Saturdays for random things because there's nothing else to do. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and comment down below if you are a vegetarian, vegan, have considered converting. Let's get into it. Here are 5 things I've learned and tips for you if you are traveling as a vegan or vegetarian. Tip number 1 is do some research, because sometimes we want to plan this trip to X country or Y country, and it just so happens that their diet and their culture is like zero vegetarian, vegan friendly. I say this because in 2018, I went to Egypt and that was my first trip as a vegetarian. Oh boy. This trip was free, so I wasn't gonna deny it. I didn't really eat well. I ate salads the whole time. There were a lot of issues with that trip. If you want me to do a story time, I would love to do it. You need to do your research, especially if the vegan and vegetarian alternatives are something that you had never tried before. Your stomach is gonna kill you. It doesn't have to be the perfect vegetarian vegan world that you might want, but at least having some options to live off of during the time that you will be traveling there. I'm not saying limit where you go, because I feel you should explore everywhere in the world. That is my goal, travel every country in the world. But depending on the trip you want to have, you should do a little bit more research on the diet that the country usually has as well. My second tip for traveling vegetarian, vegan is to be flexible. I know that some people are very strict in their diet, and that's the way you run your diet. I feel like I'm a very flexible vegetarian, especially because my doctor told me that I should eat fish once a week. I still consider myself a vegetarian because I do try to limit it once a week. It's for health reasons. But I'm also that type of vegetarian that if, let's say, the beans have a little bit of meat, I just scrape it to the side and not eat it. That's just the type of diet I have. Obviously, I always ask, is there a vegetarian option? Is there a vegan option? this and that, and if they say no, then I have to adapt. Some countries don't have the luxury of being a vegetarian or a vegan. I do say that it might be a luxury because they don't have access or they're not educated on all the alternatives to eating meat. When I went to Brazil, the beans always had meat, and I was like, okay, this is everywhere, and they're not gonna make a special batch just for vegetarians. The same happens in my home, Puerto Rico. Everything has meat. So I sometimes try to be a little bit flexible on that. Things like that can happen when you travel. In my opinion, you have to be a little bit flexible. If you are going to maintain a very strict diet, no matter what happens, you won't eat it, and I totally respect that. Then you should be prepared to eat very plain things. Tip number 3, which I know this is obvious, but I forgot to do it the first time I traveled as a vegetarian, is call your airline ahead of time and request a vegetarian meal. I did not do this for my Egypt trip, and I ended up having to eat chicken. It was that or nothing at all, and I was starving, so I was just starting with my vegetarian diet, didn't think it would do anything too rough to my stomach, even though we don't know exactly what airplane food is like. When I went to Brazil, I called like 3 weeks ahead of time. You have to do it before the 24 hours before your flight. This is a tip within a tip. If you don't have time to call, because this happened to me, I was booked a flight within 12 hours because I had to leave Brazil due to the pandemic. Ask a flight attendant if they have any vegetarian vegan meals. These people from Copa Airlines, it was 2 guys. They were the only ones who helped me, and I was very stressed out, on the verge of tears, because you know what, like my plans just fell to shit, and I was stressed out because I could get the virus and bring it back home. And when I told this guy, look, I'm a vegetarian, I couldn't call in advance, he stopped the service and was like, I will check in the back right now. And turns out there was a vegetarian meal. They had an extra. You never know if they have extras. Same thing happened with my second connecting flight. The guy was like, can you wait a little bit while I do the service? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. He was nice enough to take all the salads from the crew lunches and dinners and put it in a tray for me. It was only a 3-hour flight, so I was fine, and I was beyond grateful because he didn't have to do that. He could have just said no and went along like other flight attendants did, but these 2 guys came in clutch. So if you don't have time to call, or you forgot, or it's a last minute flight, ask someone on board, and from my experience, more than likely they will try and accommodate you. My 4th tip is to talk to people who have been to that country, who have the same or similar diet as yours. Before going to Brazil, I got in contact with a girl who had lived in the city that I was going to live in, who was a vegetarian, and I asked her all these questions about what I should pack, what I should expect, and it honestly prepared me enough to the point where I wasn't shocked when I didn't find X or Y or Z, or when I had to adapt in a certain way. But Brazil was honestly very surprising at being vegetarian friendly. So get in contact with people. If you don't know anyone who's been there, there is something called Google. I'm sure you know it. There's something called YouTube. You're on it right now. Odds are someone has gone to that country, or someone lives in that country or that city that you are going and has a similar diet to yours. That way you're expanding your research from just their culture and their diet to someone actually living there, and you might even get in contact with them and ask them, hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? What should I expect for this? Should I pack this? Should I pack that? Tip number 5, my last tip, would be open to having a space with a kitchen. You will save yourself the hassle of going out and looking at the menu and not finding anything that you can eat, because everything has what you cannot eat, whether it's meat or dairy. Opt for a night in cooking. I know it's a vacation maybe that you're going in. It's way easier to just go to a supermarket and get what you know how to cook. And this is also super cool because you get to explore what the supermarkets are like at the destination that you're at. You get to practice the language. Oh, that's another thing. You should learn how to say I am a vegetarian or I am a vegan in the language that the country that you are visiting speaks. Please don't expect everyone to speak English. So in Portuguese it would be like, eu sou vegetariano. Why does it sound French?
Eu sou vegetariana.
Eu sou vegetariana.
Eu sou.
Going back to the previous point, you can go out and it can be honestly a learning experience for you. Learning the different brands that are at the supermarket, maybe trying some different fruit and produce that country is really known for or that you don't see year-round where you're from. So consider that in your plans. You can make a night out of it. Like if you're with a group of friends, like that'd be awesome. Bottle of wine or whatever you drink, you make a cooking night out of it. I think that's a cool thing to do on your trip. Add it to the list and you save yourself the hassle of people like looking at you weird for saying you don't eat meat. Those were my 5, 6 something number of tips for traveling as a vegetarian. I included vegans as well because I feel like that this applies to vegans. Like I said in the beginning, I respect everyone's diet. I chose to be a vegetarian for the environment. I do eat fish sometimes because my doctor recommended it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again for 100 subscribers. Don't forget to give this video a like. Comment down below, what is your diet? Are you a vegetarian? Are you vegan? Subscribe, follow Bodhi Abroad on all your favorite social media platforms, and I will see you guys Saturday for a random video. Bye!